Can anyone confirm that if my screen is visible?
No, Sumesh, it's not.
I'm able to see.
Yeah, the desktop screen has come, the home screen.
Yeah, I mean my screen in the sense that I have not opened anything. I just Zoom screen is coming, so it's visible, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So unfortunately today there is some issue with the server or the application.
What is Sumesh? Which topic you are planning to discuss today on the application?
So it's mainly on the key concept as well as on the implementation plan.
Okay, I'll give you another instance, please.
No, it's okay. I have prepared the theoretical part itself, so it's okay if it is not coming up.
Okay, fine.
So we can manage the today's class. So it's not like mandatory we have to go it, but
okay.
Yeah. So yesterday, what we had done it that this was the portion that we had left out using the implementation project, that how we can generate the task. So maybe on Monday we will log into the application and we will see how we can define the task in the application, how we can assign these tasks to the user. So it's something similar to your Excel sheet that you're preparing for any of a project and you're defining the task. But here, what Oracle provides us, they generate the task automatically for us. We don't have to keep in mind that, okay, what I have to do first, what I have to do second. These are the tasks that is required for a project managers normally who is owning this project or who is leading this particular project. So they can assign these tasks to the team members. Now, it can be again bifurcate. If I'm implementing the HCM and there is a separate SME or separate specialist who knows the HCM, if I'm implementing the payroll, if there is a separate users or coming it, so they can assign it. So when we will see it on Monday, you can have an understanding that how these tasks are defined. Now, yesterday I had given you the little bit of brainstorming on doing this particular key concept of HCM. Did you go through this slide?
Yes.
Okay, so any question on this or anybody wants to explain on this part? No one? Yesterday, what I told that what actually when I say enterprise and I asked you that by Monday or by Tuesday, you have to come out with the assignment. Who all remember that assignment?
We have to go, means we need to give you the organization structure, the hierarchy.
Yes, you have to prepare your organizational structure, and in that organizational structure, what will be my topmost organization or topmost entity will call?
Enterprise.
Enterprise. So when on Monday or Tuesday, so I'm giving 1 day buffer because we have to cover up other things also. So we have to come out with our organizational structure, and I am expecting this from everyone. You have to prepare the hierarchy, and Monday I will see each and everyone should come out with their organization hierarchy, and topmost will be my the enterprise one. Now, when we define the organization, see, this is a key factor. When we are making this organizational structure, it becomes very important, and this is from where my implementation is going to be get successful or unsuccessful. It depends if I am having a very much clear understanding on these nomenclature, what you are saying in front of your screen. I will just explain it in few words. We will see in the details in upcoming class, and this will take a huge amount of efforts and time from my side to you, that you have a very much clear understanding when I'm saying enterprise, when I'm saying as a division, when I'm saying as a legal entities, when I'm saying as a business units. Now, those who are working on Oracle ERP, and if they had seen the structure, what normally we define it at a topmost hierarchy. Anyone who has worked on the ERP in their organization or have some background, what normally we call it?
Enterprise.
No, I'm asking those who are currently working on Oracle ERP, not on Cloud HCM, on Oracle ERP.
Sumesh, sorry for interrupting in the middle. I shared instance in the chat in case if required, you can use it. Okay?
Sure, Krishna. Thank you. Yeah. Have you heard about the business group? In ERP, anyone know what is business group we call it?
No.
No. Okay. So, and how this organizational structure come on? Like if you had seen the structure, the departments or the topmost department, how you are configuring it? Like, give me one example from the existing one ERP, how you are define it, or if you had seen it. Okay. Here I'm not giving to teach you that what, how, or what we are configuring Oracle ERP. Oracle ERP is as an on-premise application or the older version of the Oracle HCM. So there we can have a business group that we can define at the topmost part, but that is not called as an enterprise. Here the Oracle has changed the concept. And the business group, I can create a multiple business group in Oracle ERP, but in Fusion HCM, when it comes, I can define only a single enterprise. In general layman term, what you mean by the divisions?
Different business units.
Business units.
But here is another business unit. You can see below legal entity, there is something called the business unit also.
Departments?
Department, but okay, can anyone give me example of any organization? Say, for example, if I am having a group of companies, okay, and they are having a different businesses across the line of business. So, for example, say an example of Adani. Adani, everyone knows that, or take an example of Reliance in India. If I'm talking about the Adani, they are in the logistics, correct? They are in the energy, they are in the retail. So what are these when I'm talking about?
Group of companies.
These are the divisions.
Yeah, these are the divisions. So when we talk about the next level, how I am clubbing my business, how I am organizing my business, which makes a sense to me. So when I say that, okay, they are into the energy, so it will automatically give me that under the energy, what all things they are doing it. So I can define this as a part of my division. Now it is not hard and fast that I will give you some more concept also, that where you will get a confusion. Okay, if I'm defining energy as a division level, why it cannot be clubbed as my enterprise level as well. And now take another complex example. Now Adani, if having an operation in outside India as well, and they having a energy sector there as well, and under the energy they may be having a solar energy over there, or it can be a wind energy over there. So how I can classify it? Say maybe he's open one plant in London. So where I will club it?
Under divisions.
Under divisions? Okay. Understand this concept. When we talk about the enterprise structure, we will discuss more about it. What is the legal entities? I'm not asking from the HCM point of view, not asking from the system point of view, but in general, if I want to know what do you mean by legal entities?
The name of the division. I mean to say.
Name of the division. Anyone else? It's a general layman term. It's not system. It's an HR person should know this. If you're working in HR, you should know these terms. If you're dealing with your government related relationship people, you should know these terms very easily. I told you that I am not here to teach you only about the system part, but I will make a clear concept for you as well, so that you have a complete understanding how business drive it, how it can be defined. Come on.
I think it's more like I'm using the example of a company. So it's more of the way they have a legal rights and the obligation, like so where we, like a company. So if you say you produce, for example, you're a company that produces a gas, so all your legal entities, you have a legal right or an obligation around maybe some area like all oil field, gas field. So those are due to your on the type of the business or you provided.
Okay, so somewhat Joshua, you are close to it, but if I am asking like a fine definition, assume you want to open a company, correct? You want to open a company either in UK or either in India or maybe anywhere else in this whole world. So what you require, you need to register your company, correct?
Yes.
Correct. So we need some legal entity name to our company. Without that, I cannot operate.
Yes.
Correct. So that's somewhere concepts come. So when we talk about the legal entities, it is linked to the legal employer. When we talk about the legal employer, it means that if I am expanding my operation out of India, or if I am expanding my operation within the India, so the employee which are working under that legal entity, which in turn as a legal employer. So these keywords and these concepts will come, and the whole discussion will be on the legal entities and the legal employer. And then come the statutory unit when we are defining on the payroll part. So legal entity at this point of time, you just understand that if I am registering a company with government entity, so they define or they give one legal entity right to me where I can operate my condition. So I have to follow the law of that particular land. Without that, I cannot operate any company, whether it's a freehold or whether it is a LLC or whether it is a limited company, public company, private company. It should be defined under the government rules and regulation.
Okay.
Clear? So this legal entity will make a lot of confusion when you are defining your payroll, and there is a complete different structure is there, and you have to be prepared. Maybe when you are coming to the class, you read about these statutory units, or find out something that how we can define it, what are the things are required if I'm opening a company, so that it will make easy for you to understand the concept from the HCM. Why I'm giving you this today briefing, so that you having a 2-3 days at your end, you can go and read by your own. When I'm opening any company, what legal entities are means, what are the law of lands are there. So when we discuss on the enterprise, when we discuss on the legal employer, when we are discussing on the payroll statutory unit, you have a clear concept. Okay.
Yeah.
Then comes, yeah.
No. I said okay.
Yeah. Then comes a business unit. So business unit, again, you have to find out. Now here we had given a concept of the division. What are the business unit according to you in general term?
It's more like a
Different departments.
team or department. Having a team or having the unit of maybe like a team or.
Can you give me some example? Like if you are working in back office, or if you are in front desk, or maybe whatever. If you are, say, take an example like if I am working in a healthcare company.
Yeah, if you work in a healthcare company, you may have a nursing department or nursing unit.
Mm-hmm.
That's an example of they are responsible for particular service or engagement or.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yes.
Yeah, Joshua. Yeah, it's somewhat you are getting it. Anyone else who want me to give us some example on the business unit?
It is a different department which is working, which is creating his own process, like own rules from like starting a new thing from the main business, diversification to that particular area.
Okay. Yeah. So when you're listing down your hierarchy, okay, imagine it that you have to define at some level, this is my enterprise. Try to map it. I'm not saying you will be 100% successful, but try to map it. When we are saying it that okay, it's a department, but its own has its own rule, and what Joshua is saying, it's different line of thing. So when you are defining your organization hierarchy, you just try to map with the enterprise. You try to map with the division. Forget about the legal entities. Don't try to map with the legal entity, and then try to map with the business units. So when you're creating your hierarchy, I don't want any department in that particular hierarchy. Okay. Department, everyone knows is what is a department, and department is very easiest thing that you can define it. Okay, this is my organizational structure and these are the departments. I want to make it very much simple, crisp, and little bit where you can do little bit of hard work. So I want, and when you are defining your organization hierarchy, I want your enterprise, I want your division mapping, and then the third thing, I want your business unit mapping. Okay. Department, maybe below you can mention it. Okay, these are my department. So I want to understand how much you know about the HR function. Clear?
Okay.
Yeah. Then this is something called a reference data set. Now this reference data set, if I want to give you in a layman language.
Sorry to interject. There's still, for me, I'm still a bit confused about the difference between business units and divisions.
Okay. So I just give one example of one big organization in this India, or maybe we can take some example from your country as well. So what I give that, consider there is a group of, there is a company called Adani Group. Now they having a different businesses. Now when I say the businesses, they having they deal in the power sector, they deal in the energy sector, they deal in the logistics, they deal in the real estate. So this is something, if I'm clubbing my businesses in one front, so that I am calling this as a division. Now here I am just given an example. You have to, this is an assignment. What I am doing it over here, I am just explaining it. The division, the business unit, the legal entities, when it comes, my complete implementation will get changed. And the thought process, what I want now at this point of time to generate in your mind, that you should get the concept clear that there are the certain words are available in the system. Enterprise is there, which is very much, everyone knows, okay, there should be one enterprise and that will be the topmost. Then comes the divisions, then comes the legal entities are there, then the business units are there. So you have to start thinking. I had not explained as of now what exactly the business unit mean in HCM, what exactly the division mean in HCM. This we are talking in general layman term, that these are the terms that you have to come across multiple times. And this concept is very important because when we are implementing HCM, this become my driver to make the implementation successful or unsuccessful. Okay. So this is still, I'm just giving you the overview. I had not delivered it what exactly in HCM we mean it, but this is an assignment for you. Here I'm giving you some basic concepts. So when you are building up your organization hierarchy, maybe Monday or Tuesday, we will go through each and every one the exercise, and we will see who is more close to it, who understand the concept, how the system is going to be configured in the HCM. Clear?
Okay.
Okay. Then the reference data sets so if I want to give an example, say if you are working in an organization and it's located in two different locations, correct? So maybe Olu is managing somewhere in Far East and Temi maybe in other area, and you don't want to share your data. When I say the share your data, I want to keep a bifurcation of my data, whether it's my job or whether it's my position or any other thing. So here we create a reference data sets. This I will explain to you. No need to worry about it. So there is a reference data set that when we're defining the business units, it's linked to it. This is a key concept when we are defining the or configuring the application. This will come, and we should understand what mean by difference data sets. And when we do the system implementation, we will take it to you through the system as well. Then there is another concept which will called a business unit set assignments. This is again when we talk about the work structure, we will go to this set assignments. Again, this is something related to the bifurcation of data, because these were the pain area in Oracle ERP where I cannot bifurcate the data and where I have to depend on the technical team to define multiple profile or multiple policies to divide my data. But in HCM, it's very easy and very simple. So on the left-hand side part, I'm just covering only on this left-hand side part, and this is going to be your assignment. Why I pick it up today, so that you can more understanding when we're talking about division, business units, enterprise, and reference data set. Okay, any question on this part?
No, Sumesh.
Okay, so we will start our next chapter, which is on the core HRMS part. Functional setup, only the part is remaining, the implementation generation of the task that on Monday I will show it to you. So in core HRMS, this is our second chapter, and then we will follow with payroll, performance, talent, goal management, absence management, and time and labor. and we will see how we are catching it. Objective of this core HRMS, we will try to finish within 2 weeks of time period, 2.5 weeks of time period. And in this core HRMS, what you will be having an understanding is on the geographies, that what are the geographies are there, how it is important, what all things we have to do when we are defining the geographies. Do we need to import it, or do we need to create these geographies, or it is by default available in the applications? Then comes the locations, that if I am defining the location, why it is important, which all area it is important. Then the creation of my enterprise. Now, normally when we receive the blank or the vanilla application from the Oracle, this is the first thing that any of the implementer will going to be create, and it have lots of question answers is there. We have to, before defining or before creating the enterprise, it required lots of brainstorming. So it's not like that I got an access of my application by today and tomorrow I just go and create the enterprise. No, don't do this mistake in your implementation. Always there are multiple things are there which depend while you're creating the enterprise. There are certain tasks, there are certain steps which are reversible, but there are certain steps which are irreversible. When I say irreversible, once you create them, you cannot bring it back. Okay. So once you mess up with the application, it's done and dusted. You can't do anything. And that's what I am saying it. When you're doing the implementation, if you fail on the first step itself, it wastes the money, it wastes the time, and it wastes the confidence from the customer as well. So when you are defining this enterprise, these are the main setup area are there. So you have to focus, and when you're defining it, you have to understand the complete key concept of my HCM. Clear? So enterprise defining is key part. We will see it, how we can define, or if it is defined already in the system, we will show you what are the key questions you have to keep in mind when you're defining the enterprise. We will go in detail. Before we are reaching out to the system, there are multiple theoretical questions will be there, multiple brainstorming exercises we will do it, so that it will be very much clear to you what is enterprise. We will talk about the employment model, that what are the employment models are there in the system. Oracle is giving the flexibility of 2-tier model and 3-tier model. We will explain, we will go into the detail that what are the 2 and 3-tier models are there, and then we will see it. Now, in this group, anybody is there who is working on 2 different assignments, like having a 2 role in an organization? Okay, so we will discuss on this multiple assignment. There is a concept called multiple assignment where one employee can have a 2-2 assignment in an organization. So this is something related to the employment model, and we will discuss it. Then other part, we will go in detail on the division, legal entities, and when we are implementing the payroll, you are learning the payroll as well. So there will be the statutory units, compliances are there that we are going to learn under this particular section. Then the majority part will come as a part of my work structure. Now, this is familiar to you, all of you, that work structure, what do you mean? Department, jobs, position, grade rates. So this is come, or we are clubbing this as a part of my work structure. Now, I just want to understand for my knowledge, do you have an understanding what is departments?
Business units.
No, I'm not talking in HCM language and in general.
Yeah, we know department normally. So you got department of works and pension, or if you are in a big organization, you have different departments. So if you are like me, you are in the NHS, you have the department HR, you have, which is corporate, you have the medicine, you have the surgery. So these are department, yeah.
Very good, very good.
Finance as well. So
yeah, definitely. So and each department, will it link to my cost center or not?
It's got to link to cost center. If you don't link it to cost center, you can't recruit. Yeah.
Okay, very good. So we have a concept of department. Now, concept of jobs.
Yeah, these are your vacancy that you have within your department. Jobs available. Yeah.
Or the job role itself. So you have your department and then you have the job role within that department.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that job would have a position as well. So grade,
okay.
as in position and grades. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay. So can you give me an example of job and a position?
Okay, I can give you an example of a job and a position. So department, right? So in a department, for example, corporate department, which is HR,
okay,
you have, that's this department. The job, you have the job of the director.
Okay.
Yeah, director of HR. And then the position, which is the position number that we use. So use the position number. So when it says the corporate is HR director, the position is, what is his position? Is the head of HR. So is the head of the whole department, so which is the director of HR. That's this position. But his job title is the director of HR. The position is he oversees the whole HR function.
But that if I am a HR director, so this is my job. Okay, so it means that I will be looking the HR functions, correct? So that's something like a job description to me, that okay, I am a head of HR or I am a director HR, and my job is to look out the HR functions in that particular department. But why this position is there? Why this additional position is coming over here? When job I'm defining it. So what is okay? Forget about this. What is the relationship between job and the position?
The numbers of what is available. So how many people? The head count. That's the position.
Okay. Position drives. Position based on my experience. Position drives the job. So you could have drives the job. So you can have even five. You can have 5 employees under one position. Meaning position would have a position number. I could have 5 employees under one position.
So give me some example. Like, okay, so for example, let's take this example. So my job is say HR director. Okay.
Yeah.
And then what should be the position?
It depends on the organization.
Oh, I think I see. The position will be all-time, that is all-time equivalent or part-time.
Okay, so okay, fine. So you are saying that position will be my full-time equivalent or part-time?
Correct. Either you are doing full-time or you are doing part-time. That's your position.
Okay.
For me, it's different. As in based on the environments I've worked in, position tends to be, it's actually unique, where you could have more than one person in one position in a group called position. So like when I worked for the MOD, you could have one unique, it's a number.
Okay, so position, position is my number.
Could be a number, yeah.
So if I'm saying is that HR director, so maybe it can be HR director 1, HR director 2.
No.
Yeah, you can have 1, 2, 3. Within that, from my experience, like I working for the MOD, you could have one position number, and there will be a description on it. But within that, you could have about 10 military guys on that position.
No, what I want to do it. I want to have a relationship between the job and the position. So I'm not getting clarity over here.
Job.
One by one. May I request if you can raise your hand and before. Yeah. So who is taking this question?
Okay, let me take it.
Okay.
So when you say position, this is so we call it WTE, all-time equivalent. So you are the HR director. That's your job. Your position is how many is the head count? So is it 2 or 1 person that is sitting in that position? That's the position. What is the head count? So when you have the structure, you look at the structure through Oracle, you look at the hierarchy. So you got the job, you got the name of the person. The position is how many do we have in the organization? Only 1 HR director. We give that 1 all-time equivalent is 1 head count. And then underneath, you now have HR business partner who are 7. That will be 7 all-time equivalent. That's the position. So the numbers of the position that you can fill. So how many people can be HR director? 1 person at a time. Once he's leaving, you got to replace him. You can't have 2. That's my understanding.
Okay, okay, fine. So let me again go with Love Mendes. Your name is appearing like consulting. So what's your name?
Ade.
Ade. Yeah, if you can like rename your name, so it will be easy for me to communicate with you. So like you are saying, I have a let me take another example. What you are mentioning it that I have a job called HR business partner. Correct?
Yes.
This is my job, and then I will be say that when I talk about the position, it will be position HR business partner 01. It can be my HR business partner position 02, something like that.
Yeah. So now your job is HR business partner.
Yeah.
The position is how many people how many people do you have that can do that job within the department or division? That's the position. So from my own field,
so
the position is the numbers of people. Yeah.
Yeah. You are saying is that position is nothing. It's my head count.
Yes, it's your head count. Correct.
Okay. Okay. Anyone else? This is a definition I'm getting from him. Anyone else who want to make my concept clear on the jobs and the position?
If someone is working as a customer assistant in a shop, so in the inside the shop, like there are different positions available, right? Someone working in the fresh, that is one position open. Someone has to be hired in the till or checkout. One position is available. So those are the department or the category, and the job is customer assistant.
So if I say I'm giving your example, taking your example only, if you can see on the screen, I'm taking job as a customer assistant, and the position can be customer assistant till, and then
customer assistant in the department fresh, customer assistant in the department of health and safety, customer assistant in the department, like these are the position available as a job of customer assistant.
Okay. Now, anybody else who want to give their definition? I am getting two versions over here. One is
I supported what the last person said, because job is more of the task that you perform. So you can be your job, like as she said, your job can be a manager. But in terms of position, you can be HR manager, you can be customer service manager. That's the position. But you can be a manager, but the job title is manager, but the position can be HR manager. It can be, depend on the different area that you can be a IT manager, or you can be a sales manager.
Okay.
The job position, the job is the manager. The same thing she said. You can be a customer advisor or customer assistant, but you can have many positions in different departments or different units.
Okay. Well, Joshua, anyone else? I want to give chance to everybody. It's not like that only few people speak. I want a concept from everyone. You are learning the HR and you should be master in the concept wise as well. Yeah. So I have a two version available over here. One is saying that this is my job where I have a like HR business partner, and then a position is my head count. Anybody else? And then I have got.
Yeah, I think it's the same. I think it's clear now. So for example, in an organization, you have a job. The job title might be director, but the different divisions might have their own directors. So you could have director for sales, you could have director for finance, you could have director HR, you could have director for procurement. That's my understanding of the differences between jobs and position. Yeah.
Okay, so now again, yeah. Anybody else with different version?
Yeah, can I add to what they said? I'm not sure if my line is clear, but now a job is a family. A job has a family of positions attached to it. So you can have a job of a senior manager, for example. Now, linked to that senior manager job, you have multiple positions that are senior managerial positions, like HR manager, the senior manager, or HR manager can be a position. So HR manager, finance manager, different managers are attached to that job role, which is senior manager.
Okay. So anyone else have some other version, or are we concluding with these two versions only in our discussion?
One last thing, additional, one thing more. So I have a job, recruitment administrator. Yeah. The position is admin and clerical. So I have a job. The job is, what is this person doing? Is doing recruitment in HR. What is the position? Is under HR corporate, admin and clerical. That is a position. That's another version that, yeah. So I have a job. What is the job title of this staff member? Is a recruitment administrator. Under what position? When I want to put them on ESR, which is on the Oracle, I type in the position number, and everybody in my team has the same position number, because once I type that in, it populates that. So the position is corporate HR admin, because they are called recruitment administrator. That's a position. That's another example, another way to look at it. Yeah.
Okay. So are we done, or anybody else wants to give their viewpoints? So you all are consultant, and you should understand, it should not say different, have a different version. So if you have something in your mind and it's not related to the application itself, it's just a basic concept I'm asking. We done?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, who all has aware of there is a called a mechanism called Hay analysis? Anybody work on the Hay analysis concepts? Okay, no problem. We will discuss in some other day, some other time. So I think what we are getting it, this version, what is mentioned by this customer assistant, manager, director, senior manager, these are called my jobs. So if I can define, if I can give you a definition, means jobs are generic in nature. Okay, jobs are generic in nature. So our job name will be generic, whereas the position will be my specific, what job I am doing it or what job function I am performing. So in this scenario, you are correctly says that customer assistant is my job, but position can be customer assistant at Till, customer assistant at Fresh, customer assistant at HNS, health and safety. Similarly, I can have a job name which is known as my manager. Now it can be manager HR, it can be manager IT. It's linked to the last one as well. So if I'm saying as a job is my recruitment admin, now this position can be defined in particular department. Correct. This is a department I'm specifying in a department itself. So it is my more, it's give me more specific word. So jobs and position are two different things. Job are my generic, whereas position is having a specific things to be done. Clear? So there are multiple examples, you will get it. Say secretary, this is just a generic job, but secretary for executive secretary is my position. Secretary for IT department is my position. Secretary for commercial department is my position. Take another example from the retail part, beauty consultant. Now beauty consultant of my hair is another example. Beauty consultant for my skin is my specific position. Clear? Take another example from the airline industries. Say cabin crew. Cabin crew is just as of my job, but cabin crew for business class, specific position what they are doing it. Under that also we will, when we learn the grade ladder, we will find more different example. So this is make more clear that, and I'm glad that most of you are having an understanding on the job and the position, because people always get struggle to understand what do you mean by job, what do you mean by position, and then they mess up with the system. It requires lots of efforts to put into it, and specifically when we are taking a decision whether organization should follow jobs or the position. I will give you some example which all business function or which are the business areas, they follow the concept of only jobs. They don't follow the concept of position. What are the business areas? So this will help you whenever you are working in future, you want to implement a cloud HCM, you can able to find out that what are the different things or different jobs or position approach you have to take it. It's clear? Any question on jobs and position? And one person was saying that it's a position count itself. No, it's not actually a count. It's not actually a count. See, when we are defining a position, it can say that how many customer assistant position we are having it. So that's called my head count. Now it depends on organization to organization. I will say I want to hire a 10 customer assistant for my till. Definitely I am having a multiple 10 on my retail store, and I want at least 5 or 10 position to be get higher. So that I am linking with my head count, that for that particular position, how many head count I am doing it. I can have a 10 different requisitions. Clear? I can have 10 different requisition to hire for that particular position. But when it comes in the system for defining it, when you are doing the budgeting exercise, you will define, I for this opening this particular store or opening this particular bank branch, I need 10 clerk. 10 clerk I will be requiring, and those clerk having a different position itself. Getting it? So it can be clerk for my for counting of the money, or maybe he can be sit at the till, or maybe he can doing some different other tasks. So when we learn about the jobs and the position, we will go in little bit of detail. And in HCM, there is a two more concepts are there, which is called my job function. I will ask again this question when we are discussing on the jobs and the position. There is a concept called job function, and another is called the job family. So there is a job families also there. So you have to come out when we take one of the example, maybe before the class when we are discussing on the job and the position, you have to come out with the concept and tell me what do you mean by the job family. Okay, so in jobs and position, there are 4 things we have to learn. One is my job, one is my position, job family, job functions. And then it has to link with my job profile. Job profile, we will see it, how it's going to link with the person profile. So we will learn about the jobs and the position and the grades and the grade rates. Grades everyone knows. And there is one more concept in this called a grade ladder. Have you heard about the grade ladder or the ladder, simple ladder? Anyone? Okay, we will give you the explanation that what we mean by the grade ladder as well. Then we will learn some security aspect also, that how we can make our data secure while accessing it. It will not go in detail, but yes, from the, now this is something IT person do it, but from the functional point of view, you should having a knowledge that if I'm defining a role, how I can make a data security to intact my data part. Okay. Then there is a role mapping and the profile option that we will see into this. And in parallel, we will not wait till the end. If you have seen the syllabus on the day one that these we are covering it, we will do some HR analytics part also from the core HRMS. Okay, so from this HR, so from this core HRMS part, these are the basic. Now this is giving you the complete setup understanding. Second portion will come as my transition. So what we will do is that once we complete our setup, we will see some transactions like hiring a person, doing a promotion, doing a transfer. We will not wait much time, because in future also when we are running the payroll, at that time you have to create our own data. So at that time we will discuss more about the transactional part as well. So this complete, if you get an understanding of these items, it means you having a very good understanding of the HR, core HRMS, and you are getting ready for the implementation or support, or whatever the job role function you have to perform, you're ready for that. Clear? So when we are learning on the core HRMS part, these are the things that you have to understand. At the end of the class, you should have a concept clear on all these items. Yes or no? Clear?
Yes, Anish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let take 5 more minutes. We will discuss on the next topic. Now, if I ask in general, what you mean by the geography? Not the subject that we had learned in the school, but it's something related to that. But yes, what you mean by the geography?
So you can say New York is a geography. So we've got global payroll, which so we got payroll based on UK. So what had, so that is geography.
Okay.
So UK, New York, you could say, what else? So New York, you can say,
yeah,
Asia as well. So that's geography.
Okay.
And it's got to do with the way that they configure the payroll in those areas.
Okay, so very good. And you had else?
Defined area, we may call it as a geography.
Area, I will call as a geography, yes. Yes.
I would say like a region, like specific regions, like different.
Okay. As anybody else? That's all?
I think it's more of region. So you could say, for example, Asia, Europe. Those are within geography. They are regions. They are which you need to configure. You might have to configure them separately. So, for example, Asia, the way you configure Asia might be different from the way you do for Europe or the rest. Yeah.
Okay.
That's my understanding.
Very good, very good. So from the layman term, yes, you are all of you are right. So when we say about the geographies, these are my physical locations. Okay, these are my physical entities, and this we need to define in a system. Now, why we require a geography, as we mention it and we learn it, that if I'm for whom we are designing this application, correct, for an organization. Now, where the organization, it is not a virtual organization, it's a physical. Still, we are not on the MetaMars that, okay, we can define and start using it. Still, we are on the earth itself, and it having a different location and different continent, different countries are there, correct? So geographies is become important for all of us when we say that I am defining a payroll or I am implementing a solution for this particular company. Now, where this company is situated, it can be on the multiple location, correct? So geography normally means the physical entities that we can able to capture it. It cannot be any virtual location. Clear? So if you read the concept on the geography part, geography is physical space on my earth. It can be location, it can be region, which have a defined boundary. Clear? These are the example, if you can read it over there. Now, why these geographies we are going to use it? It's going to use to manage my business requirement. Like if I'm hiring a person from one country or different countries, so I want to manage. These are the different requirements. Or if I'm in the business where I want to keep a record of my employees, I want to know their location, or if I'm providing them the accommodation. So these are my certain boundaries, or these are the certain location that we have to capture in an application. Or if I am in delivery business where I'm different territory managers are there, different people are there. So that's why we require these geographies to be defined into the system. And definitely for the taxation purpose, because if I'm defining the payroll or if I'm paying the salary, or if I'm buying or selling a goods, I need to pay a tax. So this geographies we required to manage business requirements such as sales, territory, transportation, delivery, and taxation. Now, what are the different geography type in HCM? So it can be defined at different level. Now, coming up to an example. Can you go on mute, please? Yeah. So in HCM, when we say when we define, consider your address to be captured in the HCM application, correct? So how you want to define it?
Come again, please.
Say, for example, if you want to capture an address, you are staying some physical location currently, and you want to store that a location or that particular address in your application, or forget about the application. If I ask your address, you will be defining in some different or in some sequence or some in an aspect, correct?
Yes.
Correct. So
yes.
so how you can define it. You cannot say that, okay, I stay on the mountain, I stay on the island, I stay on the continent. Correct? There should be.
You use the concept.
Start with the country.
You use the concept of country,
yes,
region, maybe states, or like we do in UK, we use county. So
very good, very good, very good. So this is called geographies in HCM, where we are defining a set of group, or we are giving them into the order, that how I want to put them in order. So maybe I can ignore the continent. I says, okay, I don't want to define a continent. I am very much happy defining the first order as my country. Second order, I want to give maybe as a region, or maybe I can give second region if I'm in India, or some other I can give as a state. Then third, I can give as my city or location, or the town if I want to define it. And fourth, I can define it as my community where I am staying it. Somewhere I can use the PO box number or pin code number as well. So this is what the geography type we are defining into the system. So if you can see it over here, I have a city, I have a town, I have a village, or any of the non-administrative divisions. Similarly, I can have a state. I am in United States. Under that, I have a province, I have a district, and so on. So this is what I'm defining geographies in HCM. These are the sequences that we are defining it. So if you ask me, Sumesh, where do you stay? I will say, yes, I stay in country India. This is my state, this is my city, and this is my home address. So from there, I can able to find out. Now, there is one more thing we have to keep in mind, that different countries are having a different mapping of the field. So we have to do a right mapping in the system. So that is what normally we do in the HCM application. See, these geographies, when we are using it, it is normally created by the Oracle. We just have to run few processes to validate whether the geographies are in place. Plus, we have to find out the placeholder, whether the right, when we see in the system, I will show you in the system that what I'm telling, just understand the concept. So I am defining, say for example, if I am staying somewhere in Saudi, or maybe where the concept of state or province is not there. So if I'm staying in somewhere in the Saudi, so what they will say, okay, I am staying in Jeddah. So Jeddah will, what I will call it, and then I have a PO box number, and then I'm having a local community itself. So what I will do, I will say that country, keep it mandatory, and instead of my city, keep my PO box number as a mandatory. So this is the requirement is coming from the business, where I define it that this is my structure. Under this structure, this is sequence I want to follow, and for doing the mapping it, these fields are required. Now, why we have to do the mapping of these fields? Because when the data flowing from the applicant to the HCM part, it should be unique. It means that there should not be a mismatch. If I'm not defining it, I can put it any order. Maybe I can define a city first and then I miss the PO box number. No, we can't do that. We have to capture the data in a structural way, in a structural format. That's why this mapping is required. Getting it?
Yes.
So when we are defining, when we are talking about the geography, we have to keep three things in the mind. What are the three things? Number one, structure. What should be my structure? When I say the structure, it can be my country, it can be my state, it can be my province, it can be my town or city. Or if I am given an example of somewhere in the Middle East, it can be my country, it can be my state or the city, or PO box number. So that structure, I will follow it. I will not go beyond that. I want to keep it minimum stage. Then comes the follow the hierarchy. Hierarchy in the sense that if I'm selecting a country, automatically the province will come, or automatically the state should come. So the topmost level will be my hierarchy will become as a part of my country, and then the second level will come as my hierarchy as a town or city, what we're defining. So second part portion that we have to keep in mind is about the hierarchy. Third part is the validation. So when I'm entering my country, only those states or those cities should appear in that particular drop down, else should not be. So these are the validation that we have to put it in the system. We will see it in the system. On Monday, I will show you that how these structure, hierarchy, and validation we can go and define it. So here is just an example I had put it that at the level 1, when I'm defining the structure, level 1, I will put as a state, depend. Level 2, I will say I want to keep it as a county, then city, and then the postal code. So this is the hierarchy. This is the geography structure where I'm defining that these are my geography type and these are the labels. So in the system, we will see it from the setup and maintenance, how we are going to manage it. Any question till now? Okay. So see, geography is important to understand, because when we capture the data, it become more complicated when we are taking a data from the recruitment side, or when we're defining our HCM employment data, home address, company address, or the legal address as well. This is also important. Legal address is very important when we're defining it. Why it is important, we will learn it when we are discussing on the payroll part. So this is nothing a concept. What I just explained, it is a parent-child relationship that we have to create it. And after we define a particular geography hierarchy, we have to define and validate the mapping also. So this is all about the geography part. Maybe what we will do is that on Monday, we will see how we can define these geography in the system. Then the other concept is come as a part of my currencies. Now currencies, why we do manage it? We do currencies because we are processing the payroll. Now payroll can be implemented for one country. It can be implemented for multiple countries, correct? So we can have a different payroll for different countries as well. And then there it comes that we have to manage these currencies. Now these currencies, again, these currencies are provided by the Oracle. The ranges are coming from the Oracle. We just have to validate it from our side. But the rates are fluctual. And if we are managing the currency conversion rate, that normally we keep a maintenance at our end. But the currency setups are normally come from the Oracle end itself. We just have to validate it. If it is not defined, 99% it's available in the system. If 1 or 2%, if new country has come during the upgrade cycle or somewhere, then we have to go and define those currencies. So from here, what we are getting the understanding on the geographies part. I hope that concept is clear to you. And second is the currencies, that how we are defining the currencies. In HCM system, currencies are going to be used at two places. Number one, when we are defining a payroll, it can be like my input currency for my element is different and output currency is my different. Number two, when I'm doing my compensation planning for bonus and the salaries, so there two areas are there where we have to focus on the currency. Apart from that, it does not make much sense. Offer letter generation and everything, it depends on the country, which or multiple location we are defining the currencies. We are over time, but we will discuss this on Monday. Okay. Clear? Any question from today class?
No, Satish.
No question.
So it's clear?
Yes.
Yes, it's clear.
Okay. So
yes, it is. Thank you.
Maybe Monday, if you can able to prepare that hierarchy, it will be good. Otherwise, we will have to discuss and close it on Tuesday. Monday, we are going to discuss on the enterprise structure. So that will be the important topic. We have to go into the detail, how and what are the different concept of enterprises are there. What are the multi-layer? What are the thought process? It's mainly about the thought process part. And then on Monday, we will see about the currencies, how we can define in the system. So this is from the system point of view, from the system, how we can define the currencies and how we can recheck and validate or import the geographies. So that portion will be there from the system wise.
Did you explain the tier model, the 2-tier and 1-tier? Did you explain that today?
Which one? Sorry.
If you go back to that last slide that has geography, to the right, there's 1-tier and 2-tier. So 2-tier model and 3-tier.
No,
Did you explain that?
No, not yet, not yet. So when we are coming to the enterprise definition, at that time I will explain it to you what we mean by 2-tier model and what we mean by 3-tier table. So there, before that, because we will not jump directly in creating our enterprise, there are the different concepts we have to make it clear. Then only. So today, what we have covered only 2 parts: manage geographies and define currencies. In the system demo part, we had not covered, so I'm not marking this as a close. On Monday, we will see in the system how we can define geographies, how we can validate geographies in the system and define the currencies.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so thank you all. Thank you very much. Have a nice weekend. We'll meet on Monday.
Thank you very much. It was a good one.